Hi, everybody. Welcome back to P3TV. So, would you like to learn a obvious way to do some personal development? Of course you would, right? So, this is Jackie Schwab from JackieSchwab.com and the founder of the Press Play Lifestyle Signature System. And today I'm going to share with you an obvious but often overlooked strategy for professional development. So I was speaking with a client of mine earlier this morning, and one of the things that we've worked through together is improving some of his leadership skills. And so we start out with a traditional assessment, and then we compare that assessment to the results that several of his coworkers did on him, and we kind of look for the delta, right? And the reason for that is sometimes there's, blind spots that we don't always see about ourselves that our coworkers can see, or sometimes there's some hidden strengths that we don't necessarily notice. And as we go through and we look through all of the results, he asked me, well, you're the coach. What do you think I should work on? And which is, I guess, a reasonably fair question to ask. But my response was, well, what do you think you should work on? And because this particular person's an engineer, right? So he got very analytical and wanted a strategy for up, down, and across power base networking, influence, a systemized process, and he continued to um, make these very huge change shifts. You want to make major shifts and major changes and huge systemized parts. And so then I asked if I might offer a suggestion. And thankfully, I guess he said, sure, he'd be happy to entertain my suggestion. And I said, well, what do you think you should change? What are the obvious small things that could be going better for you at work? And he kind of stepped back a minute and was like, well, what do you mean? I'm like, okay, so last review that you had, what was an opportunity to improve then? And he gave me a couple quick things. And I said, how is your presentation skills? How is your public speaking? We're engineers, or he's an engineer. So you can imagine, traditionally they're not always the greatest. And so we finally stepped back and I said, why don't you just do a quick assessment of yourself that you would do for an assessment of your people who work for you? And usually it's the obvious things we miss. It's not the complicated ones. It's not the hard, big, giant problems. It's the teeny tiny little obvious ones, right? If you're, going to work and you're forgetting your lunch every day, well, you're feeling like crap and like you don't have a lot of energy and it snowballs. But an obvious solution to eating better is packing your lunch the night before. And so he was like, oh gosh, that's so simple. I don't know why I didn't think of it. So I ask you, what's the obvious thing you can do to improve your personal relationships or your professional work output? Because chances are you're getting the hard stuff right and you're missing some of the small tweaky stuff. If you think you got some value out of this video, I hope you'll click like or share with a friend that might also need to hear that they have some obvious things they could work on, although I don't know how great your friendship will be after that. But and if you do find value here, please come on over to the Success with Balance for Career Driven Moms Facebook group. A bunch of us moms and that have jobs that are out there working get together and we talk about the things that we need to do for ourselves, the things that we need to do for our work, and sometimes the things that we just need to let go of. So this is Jackie Schwab saying, embrace your pause, play the game you want to win, and prosper with a life by design, not by default. Bye, folks. See you tomorrow.